This wouldn't happen if SNAP was only going to the people who are actually entitled to it. Like any habit, what begins as emergency relief becomes routine habit for a lot of people. In the 2008 financial crisis, we made a lot of exceptions to the rules for SNAP in order to survive. Tons of people lost their jobs. The economy tanked from the 2008 financial crisis. This was one of probably, in the history of America, besides 9/11, one of the greatest events that changed American society. And it's not necessarily for the better. The financial reforms, everything about 2008 consolidated power and control. And if you don't think that becoming dependent on the government isn't them consolidating power and control over your life, you're wrong. Remember, guys, SNAP was meant as a bridge to help tax-paying working families temporarily when they needed the help. But I mean, as many of you know, bridges can become parking lots when nobody moves forward. Today, over 12%, almost 13% of Americans are on SNAP. Following the 2008 financial crisis, states loosened rules, they've raised income limits, they dropped the whole asset test portion of it, which is a big deal. And they did this so that more working families could apply for SNAP benefits. They went around what was legally set as guide rails and allowed more and more people to apply for SNAP benefits. You also had this great technology boom that we're in now, and technology has made it easier to apply. It's made a lot less paperwork. Sometimes they just don't even ask you for more paperwork to verify. And it's also made it easier to just slap it into somebody's account. It's made the process very, very easy. And in some ways, I look at where SNAP has gone over the last several years, and I look at all this talk of universal basic income. And I think that in many ways, this is a test pilot program. And it started in 2008. If you look at this graph, just look at this graph of the percentage of the population in the United States that has been on SNAP benefits since the 1990s. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Since the financial crisis, SNAP benefits have gone through the roof. The only time that we really saw a dip was during the first Trump presidency. And then when COVID hit, it gave it a bump up. And then it's just kind of solidified ever since then. Under the Biden administration, it's solidified. Now, the spending graph is completely different. Take a look at this. Spending has gone through the roof on SNAP payments. Some of this is due to SNAP's adjustment for inflation. You could see the inflation on the actual SNAP payments. And this is what I'm talking about when Brooke Rollins said that we saw a 40% increase. She wasn't necessarily talking about the number of people on SNAP, but she was talking about the spending, the amount of spending. And I mentioned this in my video the other day. We went pre-COVID from about a little over $4 billion, $4.5 billion, somewhere in that range, to almost $9 billion or slightly above $9 billion. There's always a different number out there, 9.2, 8.5 billion. It's in that range. It's basically doubled since COVID, the amount of spending that actually goes into the SNAP program. Part of that's inflation. Part of it was the Biden administration when they passed a bill that permanently increased SNAP benefits by over 20%.